Brother, you're the one with kuzenu nozugo. Kuzenu nozugo. Chebube kuzenu nozugo. Ka coronavirus deleju.
Kuzenu nozugo. Nozugo.
Baba kuzenu
nozugo. Ka coronavirus nabasi.
Kuzenu nozugo. Ka COVID-19 deleju.
Nozugo.
He say wash your hand.
Nozugo.
Sanitize your hand.
Nozugo.
Stay free.
Ka coronavirus nabasi.
Kuzenu nozugo.
Gente.
Choma polo kunya.
Aya debi agbo.
Eje ki wamba na yogi.
Alo.
Choma kuzenu nozugo.
Nozugo. Ka coronavirus nabasi.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
They say make I wash my hand, yeah.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Make I sanitize my hand, oh.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
I must stay free to save our life, oh.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Chukwu kedo kwolo.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Okwa no onye ngozi Chineke mu.
Onye amala, onye ngozi. Onye amala,
Onye ngozi Chineke mu. Onye ngozi di. Eje ki nwoke na bịa kwoso. Onye ngozi di Akwuru n'enyo anyị. Jehova kwurukwa n'enyo fa onye mmeri.
akwụrụ n'enyo anyị. Jehova kwụrụkwa n'enyo fa onye mmeri.
Akwuru n'enyo gị. Chukwu akwurukwa n'enyo gị onye amara.
Akwụrụ n'enyo gị. Jehova kwụrụkwa n'enyo fa onye mmeri.
Enwere m onye na-eburu m agha. Jehova bụ mma agha were.
Enwere m onye na-eburu agha. Jehova bụ mma agha nwere.
Enwere m onye na-agba m ọgụ. Jehova bụ mma agha Choma kuzenu nozugo. Kuzenu nozugo. Chebube kuzenu nozugo. Ka coronavirus deleju.
Kuzenu nozugo. Nozugo.
Baba kuzenu
nozugo. Ka coronavirus nabasi.
Kuzenu nozugo. Ka COVID-19 deleju.
Nozugo.
He say wash your hand.
Nozugo.
Sanitize your hand.
Nozugo.
Stay free.
Ka coronavirus nabasi.
Kuzenu nozugo.
Gente.
Choma polo kunya.
Aya debi agbo.
Eje ki wamba na yogi.
Alo.
Choma kuzenu nozugo.
Nozugo. Ka coronavirus nabasi.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
They say make I wash my hand, yeah.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Make I sanitize my hand, oh.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
I must stay free to save our life, oh.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Chukwu kedo kwolo.
Ka coronavirus deleju.
Okwa no onye ngozi Chineke mu.
Onye amala, onye ngozi. Onye amala,
Onye ngozi Chineke mu.
onye amala.
Onye ngozi di. Eje ki nwoke na bịa kwoso. Onye ngozi di Akwuru n'enyo anyị. Jehova kwurukwa n'enyo fa onye mmeri.
Akwụrụ n'enyo anyị. Jehova kwụrụkwa n'enyo fa onye mmeri.
Akwuru n'enyo gị. Chukwu akwurukwa n'enyo gị onye amara.
Akwụrụ n'enyo gị. Jehova kwụrụkwa n'enyo fa onye mmeri.
Enwere m onye na-eburu m agha. Jehova bụ mma agha were.
Enwere
I don't always want one power to get into my head because it's very dangerous when power gets into your head. You think you can command everybody and it becomes very, very dangerous. Power has not gotten into my head. What I believe is that to become powerful is not like making yourself very high. You have to be inside your people, between your people. There you can command power by talking to them, by understanding them. There you can command power. It's not like trying to stay too high up there by them. There you're making a very big mistake.
Okay, I would like to ask the last question. If you had to make a wish.
Well, Papa, we miss you. And I want to come to my to let me to know. Now he's an above my love. I'm a chin and by me. My woman, and Wessie. Cause man no fear as God. Say why you do so, now you did give me, now you did take a mo. The steam ain't not cheaper than a detail and a low. Met your curry not check out. Curry not tika, curry na lua, o curry na tika. Iso mayiga imana, gastilia hujetia. Nakuta wam, akuta anchi jame. Baba wiendo, yesa jamme yuye. Lines is anjong, bela baba vijang tegasa. Bena iko bia wanyama, geina besao. Yesa seme sebufo, baba bese yasna. Wome wanyama, kayema kwananga. Bena wame komnama. Tulai mente menjino. Wanyama, na isa na above my wanyama ichi namboine. Malume na nwese. We like family, oh. We dey pray for love, oh, and unity, oh, more than ever before. This world, oh, you don't pass me, oh. Waiting me, I go do it. I swear to survive, oh. Baba, now I will make this year, so oh, Baba, oh, come here, so survive. You let me know, that's a lesson we want. Baba bese yasna why him no with you man easy ki na kana easy my ganane and I want to come to line me you know na is an above my way am I chill no malume na wesi.
On the beat.
Since man no fear as God say, why you take we papa? Now you dey keep will. We no get power, give we the grace. So we love you and care for you. You be papa, oh. Papa for all orphans, papa for widows. Oh Papa, your mercy be sufficient. Let the soul of our Father rest in perfect peace. Oh, we come on, Baba be serious now. We come here now. We Kewi was a bear, and you mom there was our summer. Line in my head, I live silver. One yama in a family. No, tomorrow, hey, prepare for yourself. Oh, ayo, 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 now only come, to let me take me to know. One yama, my ears and above me, one yama, eating in my mind. Malu, mama, no, I see. Yalla, papa.
Hello?
listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Hustler. Hey, Papasla. 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 It must be free. Angola wants to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know who owns the land. Namibia want to know who owns the land. I said, Soweto want to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe want to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Purpose land. Now listen to the history. We've been here since creation. We've been here since creation. What else do you want to know? Since the time of sun and sand. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. And then we must rule our purpose land. Purpose land. Oh! Okay now. Now I want to talk to my
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to ABS Africa Broadcasting Service coming to you from Houston, Texas. Thank you for tuning in, for all of you joining from what we call Ground Zero, being the Southern Cameroon's Amazonia. Thank you for tuning in. And those of you joining in from across the globe, thank you also for tuning in from Europe, from the UK, from Ukraine, from Russia, from Poland, from everywhere in East and Central Western Europe. Thank you for tuning in. And those of you also joining from Canada and the continental USA, South America included, talking about Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and so on. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to come to you tonight with so much that is happening on Ground Zero, the Southern Cameroon's Amazonia. Please, as usual, I urge you, if you are joining by way of Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button. We've been having some technical difficulties here for the past 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, and so if you find anything abnormal, just be patient, just hold on, just hold on. We will get it right. We will get it right. I was actually supposed to be here yesterday, but for those technical reasons, I couldn't make it here. Even today, we still haven't gotten it right, but I am glad I can make it somehow to you today, with especially with so much going on in Amazonia in the past few days, talking about the killings in Bamenda in particular, talking about the cholera outbreak out there in Victoria, talking about the great exodus that we are learning about in Indian County, and so many other things that I hope to bring to you today in about an hour. This is not going to be a long broadcast, as right after me, the War Zone with Mike Fusi will be coming up at 10 p.m. Amba, that is 10 p.m. West African time. ladies and gentlemen. So please, again, if you are joining by way of Facebook, please do me the favor by hitting that share button. Let me see the numbers jumping quickly enough so that I can come to you with everything that I have online here to bring to you today. So please go ahead, hit your share button, let everybody know, everybody out there know, the anchor man is coming to you alive, not just live, but alive. You know, everybody can come live, but it is one thing to come live, it is just another to come alive. This gentleman, oh, you know what I mean. You understand what I mean when you are out there and you are being thrown bullets left and right, front and back. You got to be alive to be live. That is what it means. So please, thank you for tuning in. I want again to see those numbers jumping. Ladies and gentlemen, let everybody in your group, your Facebook groups, your WhatsApp groups, your Telegram groups, let them know that I am live today. And before I continue, I'd like to inform you on Friday I shall be back here with a very special presentation. The topic of which I'm not going to release it to you today, but just giving you some heads up. On Friday, I come to you with a very, very special presentation. So even if you don't see a poster announcing it or publicizing it, take note that on Friday I shall be back here with a very, very special presentation, ladies and gentlemen. So please spread that news around. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined the Facebook page, please again do me that favor and hit your share button quickly enough. Immediately you join, hit the share button. Immediately you join, you hit that share button and let the numbers jump. I can see them jumping right away. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And while you do so, I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank all of you who showed up last Sunday in a very impromptu manner to support the special drive called for by the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Iya Okoha, Lady Marienta. The special fundraiser of last Sunday impromptuly summoned every Ambazonian, all Ambazonian, at least they're willing to come out and support, ladies and gentlemen, firepower on ground zero. I still do not have the exact figures of that fundraiser, but I like to seize this opportunity to thank all of you who were so generous to come out with your $1,000, your $200, your $25, everything that you were able to come out and put in on behalf of the government. And Lady Marienta, our president, I want to say thank you for such generosity in a very, very short period. We raised a substantial amount of money, over $30,000 or $40,000. Again, I do not have those figures here yet. The only reason being that the backroom arrangement wasn't so good enough. There was not enough coordination so that at the end of the day, we're able to know who is pledging, who is paying cash, on which platform they are paying. You know, we have so many platforms here. We have Zelle, we have Cash App, we have PayPal. I think we also have direct bank transfer. We also have website payments. Again, the organization wasn't good enough to make sure that these things were well coordinated, which is why Up to today, we don't have the exact figures yet, but I can assure you those figures shall be coming to you in subsequent broadcasts. But again, I want to, on behalf of Lady Marianta, the President, thank all of you for coming out in that short notice to put a good amount of money for firepower to kickstart on ground zero. Of course, that can never be enough. That will never be enough. We're still calling upon every one of you out there. Every one of you out there, ladies and gentlemen. If I know many people did not realize we had a fundraiser that Sunday. And so some people just storm onto it. Some just learn about it after the fact. But ladies and gentlemen, that fundraiser is ongoing. That fundraiser is ongoing. In fact, if you made your payment anonymously but want your name to be mentioned, you can still follow up to make sure that your name is mentioned, pronounced as one of those who made the payments. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining the broadcast, I haven't started yet. It is going to be a short broadcast because right after me will be the War Zone with Mike Fusey coming up right after me. And so this is going to be just about an hour and a half broadcast. So please, if you are just joining, go ahead, hit your share button, Let's get the numbers jumping. Hit your share button. Let's get it jumping. So, but if you did not make a contribution yet, ladies and gentlemen, and you are wondering how you can make your own contribution, your $200, $250, $300, $500, $1,000 commitment. Remember, the president is calling for this one-time commitment from every Ambazonian. And the idea is this, ladies and gentlemen. If we can have just 200 Ambazonians who can make a one-time donation of $200, 1,000 Ambazonians making a one-time donation of $200, you add that up, it is a lot of money with which to kickstart firepower on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you will all recall that when Dr. Sako came in, ladies and gentlemen, when he took over from Sisiko, I was there, and we realized that when he came in, there was only $5,000 in the account. There was only $5,000 in the account when Dr. Sako came over, took it from Sisiko. Now, of course, you know, $5,000 could do nothing, could not do anything. Now, it is not better now. Yeah, Marianta has come in with nothing. Zero. Please hit your share button, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see 1K out there. If you appreciate what we're doing here, hit your share button. So, Lady Marianta came in with zero. Sako came in, there was $5,000. Lady Marianta has come in with a treasury frozen, ladies and gentlemen. But every one of you out there, you know, is singing fire, power, fire, power, fire, power. How does Lady Marianta, the president, go about fire power with zero amount of money in the bank and with the treasuries frozen? I know some of you may be saying, but why can't she unfreeze the treasury? No, she cannot just do so that easily, because there is a reason for which the treasury was frozen. The treasury was frozen because money was being siphoned out. And so until an audit is done, money cannot just be going out that way. And also so that you know, Sako, they attempted a hijack of the treasury. I mean, all the bank accounts of that treasury. And of course, the CID accounts, you all know that. Now, I want to say to you that this interim government is doing everything to recover those bank accounts. And they are not actually still under their control, partly, but somehow those bank accounts cannot be operated right now, ladies and gentlemen. But we've fully taken over the CID. The CID is fully taken over, completely taken over, and payments are being made into our CID accounts. Of course, we know for sure that Sako and his surrogates are out there trying to let you out there know that somebody hacked into their website, their CID website. Somebody hacked into it, and so you should no longer be making any payments into the CID ambercitizens.com website. That is a lie. That again is a lie. The website cid.ambercitizens.com, ladies and gentlemen, is uninfiltrated. It has not been hacked or hijacked by anyone other than your legitimate interim government taking it over from Sako e-commerce group out there. So please, everyone is encouraged to continue. If you withdraw or cancel your CID, know that the website is good. Everything is good. Sako will tell you to go in there and try to desubscribe because some people have hacked the website. Again, the website is not hacked. It has never been hacked. We, the legitimate interim government led by Lady Marianta, has only taken over the website management, ladies and gentlemen, and taken off the bank accounts that went into the pockets of individuals for their private business in Amazonia. That is why they are lamenting out there. That's why they are lamenting, oh, the website has been hacked or hijacked, and they are talking about taking it to the law. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you canceled your CID because you learned that the website was hacked or hijacked, please go back and renew it. The website has never been hijacked or hacked. The website is in the hands of Lady Marianta. It's the right platform for you to make any payments to this interim government. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, hit your share button. I don't see the numbers rising. If some of you who are joining are not hitting your share button, please hit your share button. I don't think Facebook is having anything to do with these numbers. I have my doubts about that. So I think it is incumbent upon each and every one of you joining to quickly hit your share button and let the fans populate. I need to see 1,000 people. For those of you, about 400 I see now, which is really, really small comparatively to what we used to know. So please, yeah, I just see it jumping now. Wow. All right, please hit that button as you join and let everybody else do the same. Now, the fund drive of last Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, continues. The fund drive continues. And we are appealing to each and every one of you out there. We need 1,000 Amazonians who will averagely give the interim government, the government of Lady Marianta, just $200, a one-time commitment. A one-time commitment so that indeed we can kickstart firepower action on ground zero. Please, please. It is not enough out there to say firepower without money. It takes money for that firepower to happen on ground zero, and that is all that matters. We can talk about diplomacy. We can talk about communications. We can talk about everything, everything. Without ground, without fire, power, restored on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed to nowhere, because that is the only language that La République du Cameroon understands, the language of fire, power. When things that happen in Indian by FM 10 Kobo begin to happen everywhere on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen, that is what La République du Cameroon understands, and we need to take it to them again and again and again and again to tell them, if they thought this struggle was dying, it is not dying. It is just picking up steam and reinvigorating every segment of Ambazonian society. That is what it should be. That's all that it should be. So please, let me appeal to you. You got the payment information right there on your screen. If you did not, ladies and gentlemen, make your payment. If you did not make your payment already, please, I ask you, the payment information is right there on your screen for you to make that payment, make your own contribution, either by way of PayPal or Zelle or Cash App or the CID website. The CID website, ladies and gentlemen, you have all that information right there on the screen, So please, let us empower Lady Marienta to restore the firepower that we all need on ground zero. And the only way we do that is by chipping in our $200. So please, go ahead and do that, and let us again empower Lady Marienta to take this struggle to another level, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the payment platforms you have on your screen. You have the payment platforms right there for you to go in and chip your widow's mite. Just a one-time payment. Go ahead and do so. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I expect you, as you join, to hit your share button. Hit your share button. As I take you to K-Town, let me take you to Kumba, ladies and gentlemen. I take you to Kumba. Now, I'd like you to look at these images. Look at these images coming in from Kumba. Images coming from Kumba last Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. That was Monday Ghost Town, K-Town, making all of us, every Ambazonian very, very proud of them. K-Town making all of us very, very proud, ladies and gentlemen. You can see how empty the streets of K-Town were last Monday. Not a single thing moving on the streets of K-Town. That was marvelous. That is what we want to see, because La République du Cameroon wants the world to believe order is restored, is coming back, is returning to Ambazonia. In fact, I learned they are now using local radio, local television, the newspapers, churches, and getting them to preach the message of normality, resuming in Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to deny them that message, and we can deny them that message by doing exactly what we see Kumba doing here. Again, that was Kumba last Monday. We had, this is, in fact, I call this part of fire power on the ground. Action. We see the civilians, our people, the civilians, doing their best to keep and to maintain Ghost Town, ladies and gentlemen. We in the diaspora have to do just the same. And the only thing we do in the diaspora is to chip in our widow's mite. A one-time $200 being asked for by the president is not too much for the sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen, that our people, as we see in Kumba, are offering. Again, this was Kumba last Monday. Kumba last Monday, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank all the people out there in Cape Town for observing, for staying faithful to observing lockdowns and ghost towns everywhere in that city. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you know? How many of you know that Kumba is the second biggest city in Amazonia after Bamenda? How many of you know that? I'm going to bring you some images from Cape Town to see. For those of you who have never been to Cape Town, what we see here, these are just the outskirts of Cape Town. But Cape Town is the second largest city in all of Amazonia after Bamenda. But it is also the #1 economic hub in all of the southern Cameroons. It is believed that Kumba is like Douala to la République du Cameroun in Amazonia in terms of business. And so for Kumba to be doing what they are doing is very, very encouraging. And we say kudos to all of you out there in the city of Kumba for continuing to respect our ghost towns days. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen of Cape Town. Now, let me take you somewhere else. Let me take you to somewhere else, ladies and gentlemen, about running for their lives. Running, the people of India, running, ladies and gentlemen, for their lives. This is what we are learning. We are learning that after the death of the divisional officer and the mayor and a few French Cameroon soldiers in Indian, precisely in the Kondo Titi, ladies and gentlemen, French Cameroon soldiers have been going after the civilian population in Indian country. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is happening with those numbers out there. I don't know whether you're not hitting your share button or somebody is just playing with those numbers out there. I can't believe that we've not hit not even 500 ever since. This should be a matter of, in 5 minutes we will get 1,000 people on Facebook. I don't know what is going on. So please go ahead and you hit those numbers. All right. So that's what we have learned. People in India are running for their lives. Where are they running to? They are running to an island in the Bakassi Peninsula called, what is it? What is the name of it? Ikang, ladies and gentlemen. Again, people in India are fleeing into Ikang, a small island settlement made up of mostly Nigerians. They are fleeing, ladies and gentlemen, Cameroon in fear of arrest by Cameroon military. Ikang is now full, we are told, of Amazonians running away from their own homes. Cameroon soldiers are also undertaking systematic killings in Kondo Titi, as we learned, since the killing of the DO and the mayor and a few French Cameroon soldiers. Now, we also learned somebody who sent us this information said, and I quote, they use the exercise of food rationing. That is, the Cameroon officials. They use the exercise of food rationing and provisions to entice the villagers to assemble. Then they are arrested and killed. In other words, They bring in food into the community. Ask the villagers to assemble. The villagers assemble and they indiscriminately pick people and they disappear. Nobody knows where they gone to. They are never again seen. Some of them, the corpses have been discovered. Majority just disappear. As a result of it, many people in India have disappeared. We learn now living in the island as refugees in the island of Ekang. Ekang again is a little island in the Bakassi Peninsula. And there you have mostly Nigerians living there. That is what is happening. That is what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, in Indian County. That is what is happening in Indian County. We hope that those who take notes and make reports listen to us. If La République du Cameroon thinks that by indiscriminately targeting civilians instead of going after Ambazonia restoration forces, if they think that they will use this intimidation, murder, genocide to stop us from pursuing our dream of our own free country, they are making a big mistake. They are making a big mistake. We already have over 200,000 Ambazonians living either in Equatorial Guinea, Nigeria, Gabon, Central African Republic as refugees. Again, over 200,000. And we are told, close to 1 million in La République du Cameroon and in other parts of Ambazonia as refugees in La République du Cameroon and as internally displaced in Ambazonia. So, ladies and gentlemen, if La République du Cameroon thinks they will use these kind of tactics to send us running and surrendering to them, they make a big mistake. We've gotten to the level where no amount of killing as they did in Bamenda, which I'm coming to it, as they did in Bamenda the other day, no amount of killings, no amount of torture, no amount of intimidation, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment is going to stop us from pursuing our own country. If anything we have learned from Ukraine and Ukrainians, it is that when you stand up for your country, is that when you are invaded by an aggressor as La République du Cameroon, the only thing you do is to stand up, fight and defend your homeland. That is one thing we have learned from Ukraine. And no amount of killing, we have seen shelling indeed in Ukraine. Russia has decimated whole towns and cities in Ukraine. And what is happening there? The Ukrainians are volunteering in their numbers, telling Russia, defying Russia, we're not going to leave our country and leave our country into your hands and run away. No amount of killings, no amount of decimation is going to have us abandon our country and run away. Citizens, young men, 16s and above, ladies and gentlemen, are volunteering, pouring into military camps in Ukraine to volunteer to fight to save their country. If one thing we have learned from Ukraine, it is that as aggression intensifies by La République du Cameroon in our territory, ladies and gentlemen, we must only think of better strategies with which to confront La République du Cameroon and pay them with defiance. And I mean complete defiance. That is what we need at this moment. No amount of killings and displacements and refugee populations should stop us, should stop the young men and the young women from ground zero from continuing to volunteer to defend Ambazonia. Not at all. So what they are doing in India, they have done it in other places. They did it in Nkambe. That is why northern Nigeria has a chunk of Amazonian refugee population. What they are doing in India, they did it, ladies and gentlemen. I think in Mechum too, where you have refugees everywhere in Nigeria. They did it in Umojog, Manfe, Manu as a whole, where you have thousands of Manu County refugees all over the place. So Indian will not be the first place. If you live Indian, please demonstrate your tenacity, your bravery, and your courage by defying La République du Cameroon. If they think that they're going to intimidate 10 Kobo and the rest to surrender, or intimidate you, the civilian, to give up, to surrender 10 Kobo, to disclose 10 Kobo's location, tell them, there is no way. There is no way you are going to do that. Tell them there is no way you are going to do that or allow that to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the numbers, I don't see the numbers on Facebook. I don't know what is going on out there. I don't know whether those of you joining are hitting your share button enough. So please do so. So that is what is happening in India, ladies and gentlemen. That is what is happening in Indian County. And again, I am quite excited with the bravery of the people out there in India. Now let me take you to something that also is happening in Oku. In Oku, we have learned of a protest rally. This is wonderful. Please, Comrade Ghana, have him to call me right away. Call me right now as I speak, please. Thank you for that information. So this is what is happening in Oku. We have a footage out there, a demonstration by some women, select women in Oku, demonstrating, protesting. Yes, please have him call me. I can see your note here. Have him call me right away. So you have some women out there demonstrating, protesting, ladies and gentlemen, asking for Ambazonia restoration fighters to leave. For Oku. That is what we have learned. I'd like you to take a moment, look at the image here. Take a moment and look at the image here. Again, this is happening in Oku. I don't know whether you can listen to. The audio seems to be quite low there, but that demonstration, we are told, took place in Oku, where women in Oku are asking some Ambazonia restoration forces or Ambazonia restoration forces to lay down their arms and to vacate Oku, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me say this to you. This is what we know about this demonstration. I am going to be joined by the commander for Oku, who will be briefing us with what is actually going on in Oku. But we learned that these ladies were demonstrating. They were demonstrating to get Ambazonia restoration forces out of Oku, ladies and gentlemen. Comrade Ghana, please get him to call me right away. Right now as I speak. All right. So this demonstration was taking place in Oku. And the women you find on your screen were protesting the restoration fighters. They were protesting the restoration fighters in Oku. Again, I will be joined by the security chief for Oku, who will be giving me some details as to what happened here. But we have learned that this was sponsored by the CPDM elite, the CPDM elite in Oku. This was sponsored by the CPDM elite in Oku. They were chasing Ambazonia Restoration Forces. I am not told they were chasing every fighter. I have learned they were chasing one commander called Bush Rambo. Bush Rambo. I don't know very much about Bush Rambo. I'm waiting for this phone call so that they can bring me the details. But ladies and gentlemen, I understand they were chasing the one Bush Rambo and his fighters out of the place as they demonstrate and protest. You could hear them chanting. The Amber boys are attacking their mothers, attacking their fathers. They are harassing them. They are beating them up. And this is a phenomenon that has become very, very widespread almost everywhere on Ground Zero, especially in the northern zone. In the northern zone. We have heard of Bafut. We heard of Mancom, in particular, Mezam, I mean. We heard of so many other places, Bui, Ngo, Ketunjia, where these things, harassment, kidnappings, and torture are taking place. Please ask him to go right away, right away. Thank you. So we've heard of all these places. In other words, torture, harassment, kidnappings, and ransom taking, they have become a culture among some restoration fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the sound of my voice. I will stand for every mother and every woman who protests because of any form of torture from anybody carrying a gun on Ground Zero. Whether you are a good Ambazonia restoration fighter or a bad one, you harass a woman, you torture a woman, you kidnap anybody in demand for money, I will pray that they lay hands on you and lynch you. You can take it anywhere. There are those of you out there who know how to cut videos and put it out there. Please cut this one and put it out there. I will support any woman who rises up to oppose any Amber who is a kidnapper, who is a ransom taker, who is harassing people. I will support your lynching. Because this war is not about you turning against your own people. This war is about you turning against everything. Everything. La République du Cameroon. I'm talking about their gendarmes. I'm talking about their police. I'm talking about their army. Their SDOs, their DOs, their governors. Everything that is La République du Cameroon in Ambazonia. That is your target. I'm here speaking to every Ambazonia fighter on Ground Zero. The civilians are not your opponent. They are your supporters. They are your intelligence. They make provisions for you. Why should civilians continue to complain that people who are supposed to be protecting them are instead going after them, attacking them, harassing them, torturing them, taking funds, taking money from them? I will never support any fighter. I will never, ever stand behind any fighter who harasses people. You are the reason why these women were on the street. I don't know who sent them on the street, but listen, even if they were paid to go on the street, it's a fact. It's a fact that some of you out there carrying guns in the name of Ambazonia have turned to be attacking these people and meting undue punishment upon them. There are thousands of Ambazonian families with families in the diaspora paying thousands of dollars to this struggle every year, ladies and gentlemen, whose parents have been harassed and millions taken from them. And yet, the same families are in the diaspora trying to support this struggle. It is wrong. It is wrong. And anybody carrying a gun in the name of Ambazonia, harassing people, torturing people for money, I will pray that you are picked up and the ultimate punishment meted upon you. I have no problem, absolutely no problem, when people see you and give you something to appreciate what you do. Or you ask in a gentle, humble way for support. Nothing wrong with that. And whatever they give you, you take it. That is just okay with me. But you picking up people, chaining them and locking them up somewhere, demanding millions is out of bounds. And we will never support it. The interim government will never ever support it. And we will continue to advocate that if you are picked up, if the civilian population pick you up, they should give you the punishment that you deserve. Because it is your action, the action of some of you like this, that is making people to want to feel like giving up. Because if they are feeling this pain in the hands of their own children, in the hands of their own boys and girls who say they are fighting for the country, why should they not go back to join La République du Cameroon if in the hands of their own people they go through this pain? Again, it is absolutely out of place for anybody to pick up a civilian on ground zero and make this kind of torture, harassment on them. It must stop. And to all the field marshals and the commanders and the generals out there, you have to begin to police your communities. Because we have no doubt that some of the boys carrying out these activities, this kind of activities, we know for sure they don't belong to your camps. They don't belong to your camps. So it is incumbent upon you, the FMs, the generals, the commanders, to begin to police every camp of yours in your county. In every county, the FM should monitor to make sure they know the number of camps in the community, in the county, and know exactly the number of camps. That is why chain of command becomes very, very critical and important on ground zero. Everybody should not just pop up with a camp, ladies and gentlemen. No, everybody should not just pop up with a camp. There should be a general or a field marshal that controls every county. Every county. And that field marshal, that general should be able to know how many people are in each camp in all the LGAs in the county. And when kidnappings and ransoms take place, the FM should be able to find out who did that. Because by so doing, you'll be able to take out the bad seeds who are giving you a bad name when you are doing some great work out there. Do not allow few miscreants out there to mess up the good work that all of you are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm speaking to the commanders and the generals and the FMs out there. Purge your camps, purge your counties, and purge your local governments of those miscreants. Get them out. All right. So whatever happened in Oku, I really don't blame those women a lot. I don't blame them a lot, ladies and gentlemen, because some of these people carrying guns, I don't want to call them Ambazonia fighters, because I really do not believe any true Ambazonia fighter should be harassing, torturing anybody out there. That should not happen. If it happened once, happened twice, it should not happen the third time, fourth time, sixth time. It should not become a routine. It should not become a habit. It is out of place. People are already suffering a lot. To be suffering in your own hands, in the hands of anybody carrying a gun. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what took place in Oku. I am expecting a phone call from the commander in Oku who will give us some details, some intelligence behind that demonstration. behind that demonstration. If the call comes in a moment, I will take it. But let us move to Victoria, ladies and gentlemen. Let us move to Victoria, where something bad, Southern Zone as a whole, where something bad is really taking place there. Something bad taking place in all of the Southern Zone. I'm talking about Victoria, talking about Kumba, talking about Boya, talking about Chico, Mutengene, Muyoka, Ekona, all of that area. All of that area. The images you find on your screen, they are coming from Victoria. Again, the images you find there on your screen are images coming from Victoria, ladies and gentlemen. The cholera outbreak that is taking place in Victoria. We have learned that it is spreading. It is spreading very, very rapidly. The cholera is spreading very, very rapidly. The cause of it remains very, very fishy. We cannot tell exactly what led to this outbreak of cholera in all of the Southern Zone, I should say. But we have learned that there was a ceremony somewhere between Mutengene and Tico, and that is where the people first contracted the outbreak, the cholera outbreak, and so the numbers are now spreading everywhere from Victoria with the highest numbers to Kumba with the next, Boya with the next second highest number. So many people have died. We learned that in Victoria. In Victoria, we learned over 30 or 36 people have died. 30 to 36 people have died already in Victoria. 30 to 36 people have died already in Victoria. We learned that I got some stats here which were sent in. There have been updates to it, I believe. But let me bring you some stats that have come to us as the number, ladies and gentlemen, of attacks. Now you see these numbers on your screen. These are the numbers of infections so far. The numbers of infections so far that have come to us. We learned that in Victoria, over 700 people have contracted the disease, cholera. And then followed by Boya. Boya has the next second highest number, ladies and gentlemen. Then it is followed by Kumba with over 70 people. Kumba has over 70 people. Please hold the line, Kumba has over 70 people. And then you have Tico has over 100 people, over 110 people, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have Kumba with over 50 people. Because these numbers you find on your screen, the numbers have changed. According to an update I received before coming live, these numbers have changed. So this is what is going on. And you find in the photographs so many people to the extent that the hospitals cannot contain. The hospitals cannot contain the numbers. The hospitals cannot contain the numbers of the victims. That is what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, in the Southern Zone in particular. I have joining me, Dr. Ngwambe. I have Dr. Ngwambe with me, who will give us a little idea. Dr. Ngwambe happens to be a medical expert, ladies and gentlemen, in the house, and I thought to bring him to give a little advice to our people on what they can do if you are in Victoria, in Tiko, in Mutengene, in Boya, Kumba, Moyoka, Ikona, all of that immediate area. This is what I guess you can do to prevent this cholera spread out there. Dr. Ngwambe, it's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Yes, greetings, Secretary Chris. I don't know if you can hear me well because I have a earpiece on.
I can hear you 5 on 5.
Perfect.
Now, I like to ask your expertise, knowledge on what causes cholera.
So cholera is caused by a bacteria. It's there's several forms of it. Vibrio cholerae is the name of the bacteria that's usually associated with this, and you usually get this type of a small intestine infection in countries where the sanitation or the the disinfection or the processing of water is not that good. So, for example, you will hardly, if ever, hear of a cholera outbreak in the United States or in Western Europe, but in countries like ours, South America, Asia, Southeast Asia, and other parts of the world where they don't really treat the water that well. That's where these outbreaks come from, and it usually comes from feces or poop. Your stool. If you don't dispose of stool properly, you're going to get these cholera outbreaks. I mean, I don't know if our fellow Amazonians listening will remember when the UN was in Haiti, and the Haitians really got ticked off at the UN and was trying to keep them out because they suspected the UN of causing a cholera outbreak while they were trying to do some healthcare assistance and not healthcare, it's a mission. You know how the UN goes to do its mission, so they were suspecting that the UN had dumped its feces into a water area, and that contaminated the water that the Haitians were consuming and using to cook their food with, and all those types of things. So it's usually from water contamination and food contamination of human feces waste.
And how fast does it spread? Because within a few days, so many people have been infected with it in Victoria, in Boya, in Kum. I mean, and it seems it travels at the speed of light or what? Again, within just a few days, so many people, thousands, have contracted it. How does it spread so fast?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with it, I say, when you chop or you drink any water where it be contaminated by the bacteria where it causes cholera, when it enter inside your stomach, then it reach for your small intestines. In about, like as you rightfully said, if you see the way it don't spread quick, that's usually how quick it goes. Sometimes half a day to 5 days afterwards, you start to have symptoms.
It is not airborne, am I correct?
No, it'll be airborne, not through chop. Anytime you chop any contaminated water, contaminated food, you'll catch the cholera. If you touch any surfaces, let's say if you get water where that bacteria are inside that water, and then you use that water, wipe your table. You understand now?
Yes.
And you touch that table that was wiped with bad water. And then you touch your mouth with your hand. You could end up eventually getting, cholera from that. So it's not bad water, bad chop. When the bacteria don't enter inside.
Bad water, bad chop.
Yep, where the bacteria don't enter inside, and mostly from fecal, poops, from waste matter that has not been discarded properly. So
is it transferable from one person to the other?
It be transferable from one person to the other if you clean your hands after you don't help or treat person where let's say if your person get cholera, then you be help for cleaning up. You understand, no? And wear gloves, or wash your hand fine with clean water. Then you go chop. Let's say you go chop fufu. Say fufu na thing where you use your hand chop and all. Then put that for your mouth. Then you don't introduce that bacteria because be either wash your hands after you be help or clean that your person.
Okay.
Now?
Okay.
So that I can send for that kind.
Wow, that is interesting. Now, for the people who are listening to us from ground zero, what advice do you give them as a medical doctor? Hello.
You see me now?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, it is.
So I was asking for people who are watching from ground zero, what advice do you give them as a medical doctor to help them prevent catching up this the virus?
So the first thing I say is no drink water where you don't know the source. You understand? No. If you don't know who side that water come out, no drink am. If you don't know who side the chop where you want,
But
chop
if you,
come out, no drink
what
am.
if you know where it come out, but they think the water or be contaminated? How do you know?
Well, if you know. But the thing we will give to do with the water, any water we want consumer, no, boil that water for at least 5-10 minutes. You understand? Or may it reach. We know they don't say may it just hot. No, you get for see say the water the bubble. You understand? No. If any chop way you want chop, no, make sure they don't cook that chop fine. You understand that? Then when you don't even get the cholera, you know that thing it'll run through your body. But the problem that say the thing way like all that people the way you see them for that images the way you show so no.
Yeah.
Now because that people don't reach the stage where they be over vomit, they be over get diarrhea, posh. You know you need that thing where they call say posh belly. No, they be over vomit, they be get posh belly, so they be dehydrated. And because they be dehydrated and they nobody replenish their fluids, meaning say they nobody drink water where you get some kind of minerals like salt. They don't mix some small sugar inside the water for consumer for replace all that water where they don't posh, where they don't vomit. Now that reason why they don't reach hospital. So boil your water. Make sure your food be cooked very well. If you don't be sick for this thing, when you start to vomit, anytime when you get opportunity for chop now, the kind of thing that when you feed chop, rice, good thing for chop.
Okay.
Bread fine for chop. Plantain or banana, excellent because you said plantain get potassium inside, and since you lost all that electrolytes, so no, you from the plantain and the banana you'll get your glucose from there, and then you get your potassium replacement for there. If you get opportunity where you don't boil correct water, you feed mix some small salt, some small sugar inside that water, drink them. I don't know if like we for here Secretary Chris we get Gatorade Powerade. I don't know which day for country where they get. I don't know if they get Pedialyte that kind of thing for country. But if you buy that one, if you afford them, of course, if you buy that one,
okay.
Drink them.
Now, if I may ask you before you go, what will be the symptoms? What will be the symptoms for cholera? So that for anybody who never get them, if you start hear or feel those symptoms, how they feel no say now the thing where them don't catch them. What will be the symptoms?
The three main symptoms where you know that your belly go to hurt you. You know that muscle ache there for your belly. Then vomiting, and then you push watery stool. You down where you want put on that. It be very very loose. It be very watery. Water over there you poop. I don't know what they call poop for your country talk, but I know from my own country talk and the brew. So
I mean, everybody know what poop means now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So if over water day you poop, vomiting day, your belly they bite you.
Okay.
Then the most common now the cholera.
All right.
As I don't talk, if you be able for chop, mix small water, sugar, drink them. Chop your plantains.
Okay.
Potato, because potato. If you chop your potato, if you chop your rice.
Okay.
For setting your stomach, all that water we lost so no, you have to replace them.
Any particular medicine a be where you feel recommend for day where if somebody don't catch them, it feel the symptoms, if it drink them?
Well, I mean, you know, we for here, most of these things they always say go to the doctor now and let them prescribe you. I don't know if they still do road medicine for country, where you buy tablets for country, but any antibiotics, erythromycin, ceftriaxone, cephalosporins, any of those things can work. But most of the time it'll run its course. The biggest thing I say, maybe just the chop, and then you replace all that fluid we don't lost. replace them. But if you don't bad na bad, you'll give for go hospital. Then the people there for hospital will give you the antibiotics where you'll give for use them. The unfortunate thing I say, if you don't reach that level where you give for the take that antibiotic set, not only through injection, you don't really. I mean, you the overwhelming safe way for even take them. Keep up for your inside. So you definitely give for go hospital where they'll give you injection with that antibiotic the inside.
Okay, all right, Doug. Thank you very much. I hope that this be a bit beneficial to our people who are listening from Ground Zero. Thank you for joining me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I take you to the main story of the day, the killings in Bamenda and the burials in the Batibo place, let me go back a little bit to a story that I brought to you a few minutes ago. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. This one, Assistant Commander for Oko, the main commander there at work right now, so I talk on behalf of the Oko community, Oko LGA.
Wonderful. Thank you for calling me. So tell us, you saw the images coming from Oku, the women protesting in Oku, going after the ARF, as we learned. Tell us what you have learned about it. What do you know about it?
Yes, I see the picture them and the videos and everything. So the fact begin I say the civilians they want discipline the ARFs them, they are picking them because the civilians and they would our fighters. So but now La Republic and the CPGM elites them, the profit come with envelopes them for back, so that may they give these people. So now most of the civilians and we see and where they protest for out there, now people then where they come up for fire and go equator. So they come on now, the profit comes to the one come made and hand over the commander for them.
Okay.
So the civilians and the civilians and for that area where the commander come off for the bush ramble, they deny. That way they see them, they want them for that quarter they come, they deny, they tell them, say no. Say that when I don't burn our houses, then when I don't kill our people, they will not get anything to do with Una. So they deny. So the one the way they be the chant for that video, the dance, the talks, the one amber they out, now the one they for fire yango quarter.
Okay, so Fire Yingo essentially is the one who sponsored these protesters, the ladies in the Oku.
Yes, Fire Yingo and the CPDM elite them. So the profit now, they send military, may they come enter inside. A night before, that way they be hear about the thing where they go on, the discipline where the civilians and the one gang for their fighter them. The profit now come for night for inside that quarter. They started drinking with these civilians and they give them small envelopes.
What do you mean by profit?
The La Republic military and this CPDM elite them. It just like you get problem with a woman for house, so another person here now, he come in now for divide una. So the thing happen. So but where the main problem be been as the civilians the vexy control the different road. Then some of the fighter them they come on now for road. Then they take their bikes, then use them, and then they harass them. Some of them, no be all them. So the main thing we provoke this very incident being I say Bush Rambo, one of the boys and come off for road. So the fighter the civilians and come on now, the one talk. I think say be the axi bike or something. Then the guy now try for tiny gun or something, he shoot the civilian in foot. So he just arise from there. So the civilians are now vexed. They go now towards them now. They say, okay, we want discipline now. You Bush Rambo, and I think they call another name another fighter named Boy na Boy, but the main person where they be get to be been a Bush Rambo. So he be the command now for say, okay, wait it happen. So they meet where they meet up in now. He say, okay, he come in peace. They take a gun from ye. and he seeks them from ye and other things them. So it become in peace, you know, become for can't fight. So they try now one talk, then from there, that village people, they now they come up for the other side, they struggle now, they say, okay, they send them away, they aim with that way, all village people, they do now for discipline them, no before send them away. So that other one, that other cartier, they call her Iba. So the people, they now they struggle, they want profit will come, they call them on phone, they talk, so we no one see we no one la republic, we no one military, we no get anything to do with now. So as Bush,
but I say,
yes.
Any immediate thing, it be day where it be provoke this protest, this woman for go out. Other than that, what is the former governor guy? Other than that, it be give them Fayengo. Other than that, it be give them money for go out.
Nothing no be provoked. They be just here and say the civilians they be angry with the multiple control points them. So they say the civilians and they na say no una our forces them protect we from the La Republic military, but una they stand for points and they collect money from we and order. A few of them they do no be all them. So now La Republic military and Fayengo with the CPDM elites the profit now hear the problem, overhear the problem, say nothing that way they want settle them. Said come in overnight. So ma go again a step further. When they be sent away, when they be disarm the bush rambo with the guy them, they go. So La Republic now military they don't stand for some side. The profit now they want they attack them. They start shoot at this war fighter them. Bullet no they enter. They struggle. So but the fortunate thing now say none of the fighter them they no be kill any of them. They go back for their camps them, and then again are they inside group with them. So a solution get to be it don't really start be taken place. So the fighter them they don't really they talk on say they go see where to go. Where they go do they go now towards the civilians because the civilians and the main people them where they fight for them they go listen to them and then see a way forward.
If I feel ask you, people like Fai Yengo, people like Philemon Yang, why them still get strength enough to live in those communities and for go out bribing people like this to turn to the streets to take up false protests against Ambazonia fighters? Why have the fighters allowed people like Fai Yengo and the rest to continue to live among them?
Now the place where Fai Yengo village they for entrance for Oku, they call it a bar. So most of the civilians and for they now black legs and we ye don't groom them. So they be brainwashed by ye. They feel say they must listen to ye. Not be all the civilians them. That same civilians and military be come they run. So that same people they don't burn their houses, they don't be victims. So now entrance for inside Oku for some another side towards and up. So now from there where they defeat, they need to enter inside the whole Oku, now just around there where they can't roam around. So the fighter then they do their own best. So, and then again most black leg and they for that village, they for that quarter.
Now, to the best of your knowledge, Bush Rambo, is he a good disciplined ARF out there?
Yes, Bush Rambo, which way most of the actions the way they take place for Okudena, thanks to Bush Rambo, it produce a lot of material. It is a very calm and composed fighter. The problem is a small misunderstanding between the civilians or where they get right. You know, they control them, be done too much, and then you know small mistake
they
will happen.
Control. When you say control, who be the control? Who?
Our restoration fighters, someone then you know inside restoration fighters, some people then they with bad one then they and some people then they go profit for some other things. But they control then they win at the restoration fighter then put up. So they stand now for road. Some person they will we could do, we could go stand in collect money for road. He go carry back for come. You know, we even say, okay, the mommy be one go farm, or he be one go market, give me 250, or he give me 500, we go did he go just take and chuck for a pocket. So small misunderstanding they be take place. Then someone the person go just collect person he buy the use and he because he hold gun. So right now inside the restoration forces, the group would try for take measures for stop all that bad habits and with some fighters they do.
I really hope, and I pray that you will fit succeed for purge out those bad eggs within the good ones. You know, if you get many of them, majority of them, where they try for do their best for fight, defend Ambazonia, then you have a few bad ones who are sandwiching their character in the bad way. So I really hope so when I go feed for purge out, take out those bad ones, and let Bush Rambo do a good job, clean and have a good name for himself and among the people. Let the people see him as their man, their person, not as their enemy. Of course, we understand when it comes to these CPDM cronies like Fai Yengo, who will not cease bribing people to take to the streets just so you can send a message to La Republique so La Republique can see the work he is doing there. But I really hope that Bush, Rambo, and the rest, they hear me. Fai Yengo and all those traitors, they should not leave. I'm surprised Fai Yengo is still living there. Does he still live there or he goes and come?
No, he doesn't. He not live for the Secretary Chris. He didn't arrive for Yaoundé. None of that people they know they're around. They just send people them here. They profit. They know they even Bamenda. They know if stay for day. So they for a quarter for village. Now they they brainwash people. Them seem like other person they where they go move like president. They work at brainwash other people. Now the same way they brainwash what people them.
Now you don't put some small politics inside that news where you're again. So.
Yeah, then again, before I go, Secretary Chris, the people that for Oko, they don't always stand with the restoration fighters. Now, why that way? When these people they come, they want profit. They think say because they get small problem with their picking them, they think say they will give them for the wolves, and but they deny. They say they don't get anything to do with La Republique military. Say they don't beat them, they don't kill them, they don't burn their houses. Say no, the problem are between them and they are picking them. And it's a solution. They already start come already.
All right. Listen, you'll be a great reporter out there, a great reporter. I will keep you in my book. So getting back to you again and again. Thank you very much for this update from Oku.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will now take you to the main story of the day. The main story of the day. Something really, really horrible took place over the weekend in Bamenda, where three mechanics cut down, their lives cut down by invading French Cameroon genocidal army in the southern Cameroons. Take a look. ladies and gentlemen, again, that happened in Bamenda 2 days ago. 3 young men whose faces you find here. I don't have the image, the good image of the third person, but you look at this one. This is one of the young men whose life was cut short, by French Cameroon soldiers, ladies and gentlemen, in Bamenda. Originally from Batibo, we learned that these boys, they lived in Bamenda, and they were all mechanics. If I am wrong, my guest, who will bring us some updates, will correct me. But these guys, we learned they were all mechanics down in Bamenda, ladies and gentlemen. But they were picked up, shot to death by French Cameroon soldiers in Bamenda, taking them for Ambazonia Restoration Forces. We continue to see these kind of killings again and again and again and again in our territory. Just as I said about the case for Indian, they are doing this hoping that we will surrender and stop the fighting and get a lot of people to Cameroon, taking us all over again as their slaves. Of course, as I've said earlier, that is not going to happen. No amount of killing is going to deter us. It's not going to deter us from continuing to defend our territory. But this is sad news, really, really sad news, especially if you come from their village, you come from Batibo, you are Ambazonian, you begin to wonder, how many of these deaths do we see again and again and again and again? Freedom is not cheap, never been cheap. We saw how many thousands were killed in South Africa before South Africa regained majority rule. We saw how many thousands were killed, ladies and gentlemen, in Namibia before they obtained their independence, in Mozambique, in Sudan, in Eritrea, everywhere where there have been the fight for independence, for freedom. People sacrifice with their blood. Unfortunately, these were your own family members. On behalf of this interim government, please, if you are a family member, please accept our deep-felt condolences. And we just pray and we just hope that these killings will reduce. These killings will reduce. Since this struggle began 2016, I don't think there is a single family in Ambazonia, a single family in Ambazonia that hasn't been affected with killings, either homes razed down, refugee displaced situations, and they just continue and continue. But again, that is the price we pay for demanding our own country. I am joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Sikot Judson, who is joining me from Belgium to give us a little insight of what happened here. Comrade, I don't see your audio. I don't see your, okay, yes, I see now.
I think.
Looking good. Thank you,
Okay,
Comrade Sikot. Thank you for joining me again, please.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. It's a pleasure to join you on this live show, even though we are having a sad situation wherein some of our brothers were killed by the terrorist regime of La République du Cameroon. Good evening, viewers.
Sir.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, it is quite unfortunate what La République du Cameroon continues to do in our territory, killing our people, sending thousands into foreign lands, including La République du Cameroon, raising down our towns and villages, and the latest killings are those of these three boys. We understand they hail originally from Guzang in Batabo. Am I correct?
Yes, all of them are from Guzang in a quarter they call Awam in Guzang.
So tell us what you know. One narrative says these people were returning from a burial. Actually, the burial we learn supposed to be that of their landlady. There is a different version that says whether they went to visit their landlord. One of those versions I really don't have the authentic version. What do you know as per the circumstances surrounding the death of the killing of these three young men?
Thank you very much. Truly, there are many versions, but what I also have here from people who were also on the scenes that are from the same family, they stated that these people, these three guys, all live in downtown Bamenda. They live in Bamenda, and they were killed by 5 p.m. up station, and they were on their way to Mendankwe. They were going to Mendankwe for a visit. That is when they met their Waterloo from the B.
So, so they were returning from Mendankwe when this happened?
Yes. The versions I have is that they were going to Mendankwe. They were rather going.
Okay, they were going to Mendankwe.
Yes,
now, tell us what you know about the shootings that led to their death.
Well, sir, you know, these people have been. These people shoot. In fact, the whole of the southern Cameroons, especially young men, are all an endangered species. I will put it in that way, in Amazonia. What has been happening is such that you do not even need to have a crime before you are killed. Most often, when you move in a group and you are young men and they just feel threatened, they give any accusations on you, and the next thing is that you are shot and thrown down there, and they left. Until today, to show you that it is orchestrated and it is something that it is a policy to exterminate, extinct the men, the government of La République du Cameroon has not voiced out anything till this moment.
Right. And their colonial officials in Bamenda have not also said anything.
They have not. These are three guys, and I hope our viewers know their names and where they come
Yes, give
from.
us a name. That is something that I forgot to mention. What are the names?
Yes. Yeah, we have the first one, I can call in any other, for Noel, who comes from a quarter called Inyang in Guzang, and is the son of David Tenya, as I've found out. And the second second boy is from Goroshi, from the same Guzang, and the son to a late man generally called Commando. And the third one, who is a carpenter. The other two are mechanics.
Hold on. The son to who? Is it the commando, the fighter who died recently?
No.
Okay.
No. It's an elderly man who has died. They used to call him Commando.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for correcting that. And the third person, who is from Beke in the same Guzang, was a carpenter and the son to or called Njek. So there is Nje, there is Clinton Tebong, and there's Von Joel.
Okay, comrade. please hang on there for a second. I have somebody here who is actually related to these boys who were killed, and she is joining from Belgium. Hello, Doris.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, Doris. Hello, Doris. Hello, Doris, are you there? I don't know what happened with her there, but let's see if we can get her on again. Hello, Doris.
Hello, are you getting me?
I can hear you now. Thank you for joining.
Okay.
All right, please.
Okay, Secretary Chris, thank you very much. Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Sikon, my brother. Moj Araway.
Okay, tell us again. It happened that these three boys, they happen to be relatives of yours. In fact, along they are your nephews. Tell us what you know about the killings.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me? Hello, Doris. I don't know what is happening with that connection. Hello, Doris. Can you hear me? Hello, Doris. Hello. Hello. Whatever is going on, I can't tell. Let's see one more time. Okay, you are breaking up. I don't know what is going on, but I understand that.
Okay, now
I understand that these happen to be your nephews.
Yes.
Tell us what you have learned about their killings, please.
Okay, before I say anything, I want to thank you first for the great job you're doing. Welcome, my brother Sikon Mocharawi. And then what I know from back home, when I heard the sad news was that my elder brother got up and called me that they have killed David Tingyang's son. David Tingyang happened to be my cousin. So that was Fon Joel.
Okay.
That was Fon Joel Fon, who happens to be the son of David Tingyang of Inyang and the son of Alice Angum from Umoshi, who got married to David. And again, then he said they have killed Ndango Clayton Jake of Pa Commando of Gurushi, who is the son of Pa Led Commando, that is a junior brother to Pa, of Gurushi.
Okay.
One of the parts of Gurushi, I'm just forgetting the name. And then he said, below our house, the Fon Tebong, Clinton Fon, the son of late Iwa. Iwa is the daughter of Pashomshi. They are just neighbors, the direct neighbors below our compound.
Okay.
So now, and when I heard that the whole place was in confusion because they have been shot in Bamenda, and I was like, what happened to them? So I was told that they went to salute their former landlady, who was so kind to them and has taken them like her own children, because she was bereaved. And when they had gone, they bought savon, went and gave that lady.
Okay.
And when they get on their way back, they sent two ladies to escort them back to their road to take off. And when they came out, as they were going, they met with the La Republic military. So when they met with these militaries, they asked, they stopped them and asked their ID cards. collected the phones from my 3 children and took them and put them in their van and took off with them. And when they went to where they met their Waterloo, they said they had beaten them to an extent that a neighbor heard one of the military saying that they should move on and leave, and so they leave them. They don't beat them enough. And then the other one said,
where precisely was this beating?
All this beating took place up station, where you saw them lying down like that.
Okay.
That is where it took. Yes, yeah. That is it. It took. So it was not even far from where they met them and collected them to go and kill. So the children, from what I heard, is that the type of beating that they had was so monstrous. They had beaten them like even if they were not killed, the children would not have been normal again. Because even the wounds that were on them there were wounds everywhere, you know. So the people have come to kill us. And when I saw the cry, the youths of our quarter crying, and the lady in black, that is the auntie to Ndango Clinton and then the sad news is that Joel Fon and Ndango Clinton they are first cousins. So they are always together.
Okay.
And then, yes, so that is what happened, and it is so unfortunate because these children that we see, they are like meat in the soup of their parents. And
what do you mean by that?
Meat in the soup of their parents. That is first somebody like Fon, the son of David Tinyang, was the only son that he had.
Yeah.
He has 2 girls and the only son, and he was so vibrant and promising. You know.
Okay.
He was so vibrant and promising in the community, very impacting. And then Ndango Clinton also the father had died, and he was the only one the mother was looking up to. And then somebody like Tebong Clinton Fon, the daughter of Iwa, that is a family, one of the poorest family that I ever grew up to know in our quarter. They had nothing. So, but when you hear us calling him Cyber, when you hear the name Cyber, it means the child was going digital. He was brilliant. And these are the talents that La Republica has decided to come and erase, and they just walked away with it for crying out loud.
Now, were they trolley mechanics, as we learn?
Yeah, they were all learning to repair camion. They would say they were camion mechanics. They were learning. And the unfortunate thing was that their parents were paying their work from farm work. So these children, they used to shuttle, from what I'm told, to come and help their mothers, like Ndango Clinton. They say he will come and work farm with the mother so that when she sells, she will give him money to go and pay for his work in Bamenda. So this is how the children were earning. And then the Fontebon Clinton, the uncle who they say is a capital fund, is the elder brother to the mother who died. So he too was by all means trying to sponsor this child to give him a better future. And he died. And then my brother, David Tinyang, he's a male farmer back home. He has nothing. So he could always sell from the farm to see that he could sponsor this child to make a good living in the future. But unfortunately, they died like that.
Well, again, please, you and your family accept our condolences here. From the interim government, it's a sad thing. It's really a sad thing, and many Ambazonians' lives have been taken just like this. We can quote a lot of instances like this, but again, if La Republique do Cameroon thinks they can kill our spirit with killings like this, they make a very big mistake. They make a very big mistake. Thank you, Doris, for joining with this explanation and this insight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Comrade Seacott, let me come back to you, sir. Again, this is a very, very sad situation. Batibu is one of those communities that has lost a lot of young men and women in this struggle. What do you make of this? These killings, again, they just continue to happen everywhere in Ambazonia thanks to La République du Cameroon's military.
The fact is that there is one thing I would say here. Some people may be angry with me, but I think wherever I am, I stand to fight against injustice. If I was in Ukraine, you would never see me run like the blacks that you will see there running. I will pick a gun to fight. If there is war, if Russia, I am at the borders of Russia, in Finland. I'm in Finland, right at the borders. And if it happens that they are attacking here, I will be at the forefront. I prefer to die as a hero fighting for the freedom of my country than to die because all of us are all endangered. All of us are men and they do not like us. La République do not like Ambazonians. What they like is the land and our resources. And so they will do everything possible to kill us so that we will not have those to fight them. But if we had all joined in this struggle, if there are not enough guns, you will be there to prepare materials. If the will that you find inside Ukraine was inside the Ambazonians, we would not get to this situation where we are today. They are killing, and it is continuous and it is systematic.
Right. Right. I mentioned Ukraine in my monologue from the beginning of this broadcast, and I said, if La République du Cameroon think that they can derail us or stop us with killings like this, they make a very bad mistake, because if one thing we'll learn from Ukrainians, it is that when the aggressor comes after you with random killings, inhumane killings like this one, what you do is wherever you find yourself, you pick up a gun. How am I right with that?
You are very right. You pick up a gun. But the difference we have is that, yes, there may be the will. Yes, we may have many more fighters. But what I would tell you is that there is not enough yet if everybody had to join. Which means I come back to diaspora to blame all of us for not standing for ground zero, for not standing for our country. Because if every diasporan had stood up and said every diaspora should at least buy a gun for your family, everybody would have had a gun.
That's such a great idea, comrade.
Yes, if we let us take a challenge, Secretary Chris, let us make a program where every activist from every angle of Amazonia come live with you and make a program, the challenge. If anybody who is standing up is pledging to buy a stick, every person in ground zero has a member in the diaspora. Buy something for your family. You are giving to those boys because you are giving it for your family. Then we will have guns everywhere and we will not face this situation. Chris, I am telling you that there are people inside the forest that I will not tell you here. Their faces have shown. They want to still fight. There are boys even across in ground one. They want to come back. How many materials do we have? God saved us, we the Amazonians that are in the diaspora, to go and save the others. They saved us in order that we should contribute our own monies to give those boys on the ground to protect our brothers and sisters. But because we are not doing enough, that is why La Republic is killing them in their numbers. Imagine that population, everybody has a gun buried on the ground in that community because we are sending guns anyhow. What happens? Some people would have seen the way those military people are fighting and killing those people. Somebody might have taken the courage and carried his own gun and shot even in the air and run. Those people will run. These military guys are cowards. They can't stand.
No, they can. They can. They are cowards. Real cowards. They can't stand the real Ambazonia fighters. But again, you raise a really critical point there, and I wish that some leader would pick this up. Every family, an AK-47. Every family, an AK-47. And if you don't have a family that would pick up that gun, donate it. Donate it to those who are already there. Thousands of them are calling in and saying all they need are the weapons. You know, I mentioned here and I said, if anything we have learned from Ukraine, it is that they are 16 years or upward are volunteering to go and fight to defend their country against Russian aggression. The problem we have, if our people were to volunteer, they don't have the equipment. Yet, if we take the route that you are prescribing, every family an AK, I think everybody on ground zero will be equipped, well equipped to go to the battlefront with those weapons.
Yes, everybody will buy weapons. Secretary Chris, let me show you something on my board here.
All right.
This is the situation we are facing. I happen to have been speaking so much with boys on the ground within the last week. You see this big angle here?
Yes.
This is Ndonga Mantung. Look how large Ndonga Mantung is. Please, you can bear with me that for more than a year or two there has been no action here.
Correct.
But from near to this Ndonga Mantung there is Menchum. There is no action here for a very long time. This is in this Menchum where the situation of Oku.
Correct.
There is this Kupe Manuguba here. But do you know that as I was speaking with these boys, all their cry is that they don't have sticks.
Right.
Do you believe that yesterday in Donga Mantung, there was a camp, they call it they call it a wind damage camp in Donga Mantung. It was attacked only by 3 Fulani men from Nigeria that had been sponsored by La Republic. Just 3, but these guys are not equipped enough and all of them had to run. They got everybody in that community well beaten and took the wife of one of the fighter called Baba Getu. They went with. If those boys were all having enough arms, those Fulanis that are imported from ground one would not have done that. It is this same our sister that came from this Menchum area who spoke with you earlier spoke about one of the elites from La Republique du Cameroon. Is it Fai Yengo? Fai Yengo. These are the people that import these Fulanis and sponsor them to continue this mayhem. These are the people that enter all the forests and find our boys and do this mayhem. Unfortunately, we have neglected. But what is my point here? If we decide to begin to give 1 stick each to ground zero, you will see that we can start from one county to the other to arm them. Those areas that are lacking, we begin to arm them. Without which, the situation we are facing is not very good for us. And I wish that the new leader whom you have just put, and I use this opportunity to also congratulate her upon her elections as the president of the interim government where you belong. I congratulate her that she has joined the fold of the frontline leaders and that she has come at a time that it is not very good. I mentioned 3 counties that there is nothing. Just give me 1 minute. But there are others whereby some amongst us, like Momo, have used it in order to give it like a parcel to the CPDM. Fako also. We know why those ones went. But now she has come, and I congratulate her. And I said, we were all Ambazonians. We are ready to work together. But the highest thing that would promote us to work together is if we have reconciliation, if possible collaboration, or even unity, especially with the other faction of Seseko Ayoktabe.
You are very correct about reconciliation, about collaboration. But I observe particularly that when you mention those areas that no action, nothing is taking place, you congratulate and welcome the new president. Comrade, you know for sure that we acknowledge other groups that exist out there, and that is the reason for which you mention other frontline leaders.
That's right.
What would you say to those other frontline leaders that Nkambe, Donga Mantung, Menchum, Fako, Kupe, Manegoba has been long dead, and they are out there, and they are waiting for a new leader, Lady Marianta, to come and do the job?
Thank you very much, Chris. Look, there is something I have said before. If those of us who say we have led the revolution for years, we had been there for years, and there are no particular victories that can be attributed to your actions, it still amounts to no work. You are not a good leader. You have not helped Ambazonia. You are the reason why the costs on Ambazonia are yet so high. So, and secondly, there are other movements, and with the struggle that have been taking place inside the camp of former president of your faction, you will discover that if others were very vibrant and working, we would have had a lot of them switching to that side. Now, any movement that would tell me that they have not had at least 15 people coming to join them within the last 1 month or 2 months, then there is something wrong with their organization.
But comrade, it's not just about
yes,
it's not just about people. It's not just about people joining. The question is, what are they doing with those they have? You know, I was discussing with somebody yesterday, and the person said to me, he said, Secretary Chris, these other groups out there that want Ambazonians to believe that they are all out there fighting. If they were really smart enough at this time of issues in the interim government, they will be fighting on the ground to then let Ambazonians know, don't worry, if there are issues in the interim government, we are here to fill that gap. Look at us fighting in Victoria. Look at us defending our land in Batibo. Look at us defending our country in Manfe. Look at us defending our country in Santa, in Bambui, wherever. No, you have not seen one single. I'm not talking to groups like Morris. Morris, they have no problem. Everybody know, and they don't have a problem with that. They don't have forces on the ground. SCAM or SCNC and so on. I'm talking about APLM. I'm talking about AGOFC and every other person. I heard of is it this guy in Boyo? Is it AK or what? What is his name again? Forgotten. Yeah. What are they doing? What are they doing? You know that the interim government having issues cannot immediately direct any action on ground zero. But you will think that at the moment, these groups want others to believe they are fighting on the ground will then emerge and say, hey, you guys don't be worried about the interim government. We are here. We don't see them. They don't exist. What is happening to them?
Let me say something. Let me say two things here first, sir. Before I say it, let me say there is this Yerima. I want to make a little bit exception also to Yerima, because he doesn't actually care about getting fighters to belong to his group or his faction. He wants to arm, he wants to support every faction. I've seen every type of group that have gone to that faction and they have sponsored it without trying to claim victories. I am one. He has done it with the Terminators, he has done it with the Commanders of Amazonia and many others that I know. But I come back to others to say that what is happening is that Amazonians have concentrated on particular counties where all their energies are now based. Every Amazonian has based their attention on Fako, Momo, Mezam, and Bui. No, those counties I showed to you, you will not hear actions because I called it the neglected states of Amazonia. It is an Amazonian problem generally. The second issue is that you ask that where are they? Now that the interim government had been fighting, they should have been doing actions. But I want to let you know that it is not a lie that whoever much is given, much is expected. Because of the foundation of that government, the mass majority of Amazonians had believed in your faction. They had believed that you will reproduce, you will give results. Unfortunately, you guys did not vet the right leaders, and you carried the population behind
comrade,
you.
I think that is comrade. I think that is a little spinning there. My question was, there are leaders, the Choayabas, the Akwangas, who want Amazonians to believe they have fighting forces on the ground. We all agree here at the interim government, there have been some issues which we are now resolving, almost there. But you would think that those groups, the Akwangas, the Ayabas, would then seize opportunity to actually demonstrate their presence on the ground at this time. No, nothing. So the question remains, where are they fighting on ground zero?
Chris, the fact is that if you get it that way, you will always have it wrong. There are times that even when the interim government was won, you will spend some long periods of time without any action. Secondly, you would always hear in a guerrilla warfare, you will always hear sporadic actions here and there. And there are many others that get lost along the line that have been done by other groups that are not even known publicly, that many people do not know out here. They are doing something.
In this day and age, comrade.
Thinking that a group like Sokadev can instantly take other territories and begin to work because the interim government has a problem is not possible, because where would they have the funding at that emergency period? Where would they have the funding?
So when are they going to get the funding then to start doing something?
My issue is that individually we are still very weak. And that is why I think that with what has just happened and the fact that you have taken off a leader who doesn't want to go, you can become very strong again and take over the revolution and become stronger such that all other voices will be swallowed up. There is just one magic that you can do and you will take this revolution and put it on track.
What is that magic?
I tell you, that magic is that Marietta and Yarima become they reconcile these two groups and they become like one. You will see no other person will have a voice in this revolution.
I have no doubt Lady Marianta is considering that. But that is not the people who make the loudest noise, and yet we see them doing nothing, are the ones I'm talking about here. I don't think we really have fundamental issues with Yerema and his followers. I think the fundamental issues are when people claim to occupy, have troops on ground zero, and you see nothing happen. They do nothing, and all they have are bragging rights.
I can't lie that I am careful in moving on anyone anymore. You know, for a very long time, I have been a scapegoat inside my region from Momo. I work everywhere in this revolution, but you do not hear my name because the others would appreciate. But in my county, from the ADF and even to the IG, particularly from Irene Gua and the family, it has been a tough war. So this time around, I think we should concentrate on seeing how to do the magic, as I was saying. Forget about our differences, because our money would not have a color. It would not have a difference wherever that money comes, and we put it on those boys on ground zero. When we reconcile together, put that money on ground zero, it will shoot the army. It will kill the army. It will destroy them. And that is how we win. So our only issue is solve the differences. When the two main ones come, the other voices will be swallowed up, and those other small voices it is easier to reconcile with all of them because there is a main one. And that main group, it will be powerful enough to draw the others, like even with the consortium, the SNC, as you said, and we will become a bloc. I was told today that do not go around making reconciliation on ground zero. Do not make unity on ground zero, because they will accept just to take their money and eat. But they still have their following, taking different voices from diaspora. That is where the problem comes. The day diaspora will speak like one, everything is finished. And so those loud voices we were talking about, if they deny to come to this type of unity gathering where we want to empower ourselves more to finish this battle, automatically Ambazonians will know that these are the backseats, and they will be vomited perpetually. People are seeing. They are exposing themselves. Things like this that you say, where are they fighting? And if they are not doing anything and they are making noise, they expose themselves, and that is how they are being, I call it, we are in a sea. Those ones that are smaller but making noise will all pass through. Only the big ones will remain, and then fight it to the end.
Thank you, comrade. I wish we had much more time to continue with the discussion, but I would really love to bring you back, because this discussion of reconciliation, collaboration, unity, we definitely are looking at that. We will have some elaborate discussions on that. And in spite of my questioning where these other folks are fighting, we would very much like them to get together and let us see what we can do for our country. It is one Amazonia, one people, one nation. And I just hope that everybody can think this way and put aside all ambition and fight and get the animal before we begin to wonder who takes the leg, who takes the head, who takes the eyes, and who takes the belly, maybe. Again, I will have you back here. We will do an elaborate discussion on this subject, and with other leaders out there, including Yerema, Dr. Ayaba, Akwanga, Bohebe, all of them. Thank you for joining me, comrade. God bless.
Thank you very much. And in addition to discussing about the unity and so on, reconciliation, I wish to say that we should consider, even immediately after I leave from here, because we could not say it here, but the state of our struggle is something we should discuss like leaders and see where them is, especially in self-defense. If we do not diagnose it, we will not be able to get it right and change the game on the ground. It's not very good. That's the truth.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. So you have a great night over there in Belgium. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Comrade Sikot Judson joining me from Belgium. Unfortunately, we're going to end here today. There will be no phone calls because another show is coming up right after me. Right after me, Mike Fusi is coming up with The War Zone. The War Zone. The War Zone will be coming to you every Wednesday from 10 p.m. Amber. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Amber. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to being back with you with a very special presentation on Friday. So please, we want to see everything put in order. I just don't know what Facebook, I don't know whether it is Facebook or whoever is doing with our numbers. But nevertheless, we will never, ever buy robots to sit there watching us. Good night. God bless you all.